Welcome back, everybody. Scott from Powder Coating Logix here again. We're going to continue where we left off yesterday with a few more things you might want to add and configure before we get into the actual workflows of your shop. So by the end of this video, hopefully you will know how to add your own company logo to the system. That'll be used not only on screen, but also in your invoices, your quotes, your jobs, everything that you send to the customer. We're going to add a secondary user to the system. I'm going to introduce you to our product catalog, and then we're going to go over a quick inventory tutorial. These should all be pretty quick, so bear with me. Let's start off with our company logo, since we didn't do that on the wizard yesterday. First thing we want to do is go up to this gear icon in the top right corner. Click on that. Go into company settings. You'll see all the stuff that we entered yesterday is already here pre-filled. We did this in the setup wizard. We go all the way to the bottom of the screen. We've got a section here for company logo. Choose a file. We're going to use our nice tutorial company logo. Once you've got the file chosen, click on Upload Logo. You'll see it show up here. When we go to the next page, you'll see it show up here. So if we go ahead and click on Dashboard, that logo is going to refresh, and your logo is going to be here. It's also going to show everywhere else where the default logo would be. So a nice little way to customize it just for you. That's it for company logo. Just that quick. The next thing we're going to look into is adding your team to the system. So if you have another powder coater, you're going to want them to have access to the jobs and the work orders and everything that needs to go on the shop floor. Again, very easy to do. We're going to go back up to this gear icon menu. This time we're going to click on Manage Users. Once we're in here, it's going to give you a list of the users on your company or your shop currently. You want to change any of them, you can edit them. You can pause them so they can't log in anymore. Or you can add a new one. So we're going to go ahead and click on Add User. And we're going to add one of our powder coaters to the list. So we're just going to call him Powder Coater 1. Give him an email address. And then a password. We've got a few more fields in here. You can fill them out if you want to, if you have employee numbers, if you issue them, phone numbers, departments, positions. The important one here is going to be the role. So we've got a few roles here by default. Company admin, the first user for your shop is going to default to a company admin. Everybody else, you can choose what they want. So you can have a secondary admin, manager, even your accountant can have a login to look at your financials. For this case, we are just going to create a worker account. Down here, we've got permissions for this worker account. We default them to, they can manage the jobs, view the calendar, and view the products. Nothing else. No vendors, no finance, no calendar. Just what they need to get their job done. You can obviously change this for whatever you want them to see. Or you can take away things. You don't want them to see the calendar. Get rid of the check mark. We're going to leave it there for now. Once you're done and you're satisfied with everything you've put here, go ahead and click Create User. And you're done. They can now log into Powder Coating Logix and see what you gave them access to. Just that simple. And anytime you can come back in here, you can pause their account. Now they're inactive. They can no longer log in. Back on good terms, hit the play button. Now they can log back in again. So you have control over this. The next thing I want to show you guys is going to be our product catalog. You can find that in the main menu here. Go ahead and click on that, and it's going to show up empty. We only have one category called General Services and nothing else. So the product catalog is going to be useful for your standardized items. So you have items in your shop that you do the same price every time for every customer. So you may have set prices for wheels. You know, a 20-inch wheel, at least in my shop, I charge $150 a wheel for single stage coating. We'll get into the multi-stage stuff later. For the purposes of the product catalog, all your pricing should be single stage, unless, of course, you want to add different catalog items for your 2-stage, your 3-stage jobs, your two-tones, all of that stuff. You can do that, but the pricing on that generally is pretty dynamic, and the two-tone is not always going to be the same price for every customer. So this is going to be basically your online store that you use within the shop. So for this case, let's go ahead and add a wheel. So we're going to go ahead and click on add item. We're going to add in 20-inch wheel. Now it's going to let you put it into a category, but we haven't created any of those yet. So we've got a nice new button over here that will let you create a category. So up here, you're going to want to give it your category name. So we're going to start off with powder coating because we can make this a nested list. We're going to make powder coating a root category, which means it's going to be a top level selection. It's not going to be hidden underneath another menu. So we're going to click create category. It's going to auto set this to powder coating, but we want to do something underneath powder coating. So let's click new again. I'll show you another way to manage this, but if you haven't created categories ahead of time, you can do it on the screen while you're adding the item. So we're going to add another category called wheels, but this time we're going to put it under powder coating. Click create category. Now you've got a little hierarchy going on here, and you can go multiple levels down here. This is as far as we need to go for this example. We're going to put in a description here. If I can type, you're going to go ahead and put in your default price for this. So like I said, in my shop, we charge $150 for a single stage coating of a 20-inch wheel. Down here, if you have access to the financial system, you can also pick your accounts for revenue and for cost of goods sold. Or none, you can leave it at none as well. We've also got the option for merchandise. So your merchandise is going to include things like you sell t-shirts in your shop, or you sell prismatic ceramic coating, or you've got tumblers with your logo on it. Things like that, something that a customer could pick up off a shelf, bring it to the counter and say, I want this. That's what we're going to consider merchandise for this. So if you click this, that's used elsewhere in the system, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But as you're adding items, keep that in mind. So if it's an off-the-shelf item that you're not actually doing service on, they pick it up, they bring it to you, they want to buy it, we're going to call that merchandise. Lastly, in here, you can add an image for these items. If you choose, they're not required, don't need them. It will show up later on when we're using the product catalog to pick an item to put onto a quote or a job. Sometimes it'll be helpful, sometimes it won't be. I know it's nice for other items. Wheels, not necessarily you don't really need an image to figure out which item is your wheel. It looks like a wheel. So once we're done here, we're going to click create item. Once that's complete, now we're going to show here in our product catalog. We can also search for these. We can just search for wheels. It's going to bring you right to that category. Useful when your list gets pretty big. You can also go ahead and search here for 20. It'll come up just the 20-inch wheel. Again, useless right now because we only have one item. Now, if you want to go ahead and create your category hierarchy, we've got a button here for manage categories. If you click on that one, it's going to show you all the categories you have in your system, as well as the parent-child relationships. Everything's nested if that's the way you created it. So let's go ahead and create a new category. And this one, we're going to create Cerakote. Since I do that in my shop as well, we're going to make that a root category. And we're just going to click create. Now we've got a new category here for Cerakote. We're going to add another one called headers. This time, we're going to pick the category of Cerakote. So now we're going to create the headers category underneath the category of Cerakote. Now, if we click here, we can expand it. We've got headers underneath Cerakote. Just a good way to organize your products. And let's do another one. Let's do a turbo hot side. Actually, that's not really a category name, so let's do a manifolds instead. We're going to put that under Cerakote as well. That way we can categorize those. Now you've got two categories that you can filter your items into. So if we go back to product catalog now, Since we talked about a turbo hot side, let's go ahead and add one of those. Turbo hot side. And we're going to put that in Cerakote. We'll just put it right in the root of Cerakote. That should be fine. We'll give it a price. We'll call it $125. Whatever you charge, put that in there. Set up your accounting accounts if you use them. And then go ahead and click Create Item. And now you're going to see Turbo Hot Side. And remember when we added that image to the wheel, this is where it's going to show. We didn't add one for the turbo, so it's got no image. Either way is perfectly fine. That's pretty much it for the product catalog. This is just going to store a list of your set price items. And you can modify them later with multiple stage codings, which will modify your price. But we'll get to that in a later tutorial. The other cool thing about the product catalog is if you ever need to supply a full price list to someone, or even to put at your front counter so someone can flip through it, look at it, your staff, a customer, whoever you want to show it to. We've got a lovely button up here for Export Product Catalog to PDF. If you click this, it's going to generate a PDF and put your entire catalog into it in the categories that you've got them organized into, with your logo, with a date of when it was generated, so you know if it's outdated or stale. This can be useful for a few different things. I know some shops don't show all their pricing to their customers. Others do. That's a decision point for you. The feature's there if you want to use it. I think that pretty much covers how to add items to the product catalog at this point. So we're going to move on to inventory. This is always a fun one. So obviously your inventory is going to start out completely blank. We do have a master outer list with a bunch of different manufacturers' colors listed into it. Those are going to be useful later. For now, we're just going to go ahead and click Add Your First Item. Now in here, inventory can be used for a bunch of different things, not just powder. So if we click on categories, these are your default categories. You can modify these. We'll get into that in a later tutorial as well. But this is under company settings, data lookups. If you want to add it right now, you can go explore yourself. Pretty self-explanatory on how to add these, but I will do another tutorial on it. So in this case, I just want to add some powder. So we're going to click powder. Now we do have some AI enrichment features in this. So let's do prismatic powders. And let's add illusion cherry. Oh, it's already in my list. So we're going to just add in those two fields. Then we're going to click the lookup button here. I can easily type in the rest of these if I want to, but the AI lookup will actually go out and look it up for me. Now, since we have this color in our master powder database, it already had this information. So it's going to pull it in. AI is going to go out and say, hey, did you miss anything? I'm going to go look it up for you. So it's going to fill in your product URL, description of the color, safety data sheet, tech data sheet, even a sample image, specific gravity if you use that, curing temps if it can find them, whether or not it requires a clear coat. Also fills in our color families. The bottom half of this is really for you. So how much do you have on hand? So let's say I've just ordered 3 pounds and I've got 3 pounds on hand. So I'm going to put 3 pounds in there. If it's something that you want to keep track of your stock, you can put in a reorder point here. So let's say we'll set the reorder point to 1. Actually, let's set it to 5 for now, and I'll show you what that does. So this is going to tell the system if I have less than 5 pounds in stock, it should be considered low stock, and I need to order it, and it kind of warns you. Reorder quantity, we'll say 5 pounds. It pulled in the pricing from Prismatic's website, sets the vendor, since vendors can, PPG can be purchased from both PPG and from Columbia. And there's a few other powders in the same kind of arena. Again, it's going to ask you for financial accounts. How do you want to store this on the accounting side? So this is powder, so we're going to put it in the inventory powder category. By the way, all of these accounts are default. You can change them, you can add them, you can remove them. You can customize that as well. For now, we're still using the defaults because we haven't gotten to that yet. If you want to add any additional notes, you can put them in here as well. Once you're done, go ahead and click Create Item. Now, you've got the item in your inventory. You can come through here. You can look at anything. If You need to find out what the price is. You don't need to go to Prismatic's website anymore. And this will actually update periodically. It doesn't do it every night. I think we scan these every month or so. And if we find a new price, we'll add that in here as well. We'll update everybody's inventory just so you've always got the current price on hand. We've also got links to Prismatic's page for Illusion Cherry. It'll bring you right to it if you need any information, you want to look at other sample pictures, bring you right there. Now, we've also got a little feature built in here for I have a swatch sample of this color. I know swatch tracking is a big nightmare, at least in my shop. So I never know, hey, do I have that color swatch in stock? Sometimes I will spray them out. Sometimes I'll order them from Prismatic or Columbia. So this just gives me a way to track which swatches I have and which ones I don't. So that way, the next order that I place, I may go in and say, hey, I don't have a swatch for this color in my inventory. I either need to spray one or I'm going to order it directly from them. Good way to track it. And if you noticed, we have our quantity on hand set to 3, our reorder point set to 5, and it's yelling at us saying, you've got low stock. Go ahead and order that. So now we've got this in inventory. You've also got options. So you can go ahead and edit it. You can edit all the stuff that we originally set up. You know, your color families, your cure times. Say if you want to cure this at 400 for 10 minutes, you can update that right here. You want to change your reorder point to 3, change that right here. Whatever you change, go ahead and click save. Now, one of the useful things about our inventory system is we have QR labels. So if we click, once we add an item to the inventory, we can go ahead and click print QR label. What this is going to do is it's going to generate a QR code specific for this powder in your system. What I do is I ordered a thermal printer. I print out these on 2-inch by 2-inch stickers, and I put them right onto the bags or the containers of the powder. When I am done using that powder, I can scan this logo and I can log my usage. So if I pull this out of the powder room and I've got 3 pounds left and I go and spray valve cover, now I've got 2.5 pounds left. I can go and scan this QR code, tell the system, hey, I used half a pound. It's going to go ahead and update your inventory for you without you having to come in and click edit, remove the powder. And there's a few other ways we can do this with inventory as well. This is one way that is pretty useful. So as you're walking back from the spray booth to the powder room to put the powder away, your worker can scan it with his phone, log in, tell the system how much they used, and boom, it will update it for you. You can also do a stock adjustment. So you ripped a bag and it spilled on the floor. You can remove stock. You know, hey, I lost a pound of powder. Why? Pick a reason. You know, I damaged it. Click save adjustment. Now you've only got 2 pounds on hand. And if you go back to activity history, you can look at all of the adjustments that have been made. So here's our initial. We had 3. Somebody lost it. We dropped it on the floor. We lost a pound. You can filter this. It'll keep track of all of this stuff for you, assuming you take the time to enter it in here. Now, once we have jobs using this powder, we will also be able to click this, and it will show you any job that you've selected to use Illusion Cherry. Now, this may be useful to look up job photos. Somebody asks you, hey, what does this color look like? You can pull up a previous job photo and show them right in the system. The other thing it will do, which we don't have anything here, once you add a job photo that uses this particular color, you will get a box at the bottom of the screen that will show you 5 or 6 pictures using this color, just to give you a little more sample coverage. We've also got links to the SDS and the TDS sheet right here, right in the app. You click it, it'll bring you right out there. Oh, this one, of course, is one of their generics, but let's see if the TDS on this is specific. So there's your specific TDS for Illusion Cherry. And you know the drill with all this. It'll give you all the specs you need, gloss level, impact resistance, you name it. I think that pretty much sums up inventory. If we go back to inventory here, you'll get a list. Oh, one more thing I should mention. In here, What we're doing is we've got a location. So we label all of our bins. So if you want to put this in a labeled bin, labeled shelf, however you want to store this, you can put the location in here as well. And then when you click save, and go back to your list, it will show you the location of the powder. Easier to find that way. You can also sort it based on your location. You can sort it based on your colors. Right now, we only have red in here, so it's only going to show us red. You've got categories. So if we let's add in some tape. So let's add in masking supplies. Product name, amber tape, 3-inch wide. Don't really need descriptions. I don't really care who made it in this case. I just order it. Let's say we've got one and you've got different units. So we'll say we have one roll in stock. Not going to care about a location for this one. My reorder point is 1. And when we want to reorder, we're going to order 1. You put in your cost for it. We don't look up other items other than powder, just because we can't really account for everything that you guys are going to use in your shop. So we'll say this is $30 a roll, and I buy it from Columbia Coatings. Again, same thing for financial accounts. This time we're going to pick consumables, cost of goods sold. You can add any notes in here if you like, a link to the powder or a link to the tape here. Obviously, we don't need SDS and TDS for this, but once we click create, now we're going to show that low stock warning again. If we go back to the list, we're going to see both items in here. Now this one, we can start doing filters. So if I want to show just masking supplies, it'll show me just the stuff in the masking supplies categories. If I want to look at powder, switch it to powder. If I want to look at everything, you can show everything. Also up here, you've got cards that will give you various information on your inventory. So right now we have 2 items. We have 2 low stock items. And if you click this, it'll actually filter the list and show them to you. Granted, it's the only 2 that we've added, but it will filter this out. This will be better once you have a ton of inventory in here. It'll also tell you how many active items you have, since you can deactivate items, and your total value. Now, also from this screen, you can go ahead and click on the QR code. So you don't have to drill in here, find the QR code label button and click it. You can click it right from here, and it will give you the QR code. And you can print it right from here to your thermal printer, put it on a piece of paper, do whatever you need to do. Sometimes you can even just look at this and scan it with your phone and do the usage that way. Up here, we also have this Manage Sample Panels button. This goes back to that slider that I showed you about sample panels. So we've got need to order list. So any powder that you put in here that you do not have a sample panel for, that you didn't click that box for, will show up here. And it'll let you know, hey, this is a list of stuff that you don't have. Anything that you did check the box off for, it's going to show under this tab, just in case you need to look at it and say, hey, do I have a swatch for Illusion Cherry? As long as you're tracking it, come in here, it'll show you the list. Now, if we go, let's go back to inventory again. Let's add another color. We're going to do powder. This time we're going to do Columbia, if I can spell it correctly. Now let's do Joker Jewel. Joker Jewel. We're going to go ahead and click look up on that one as well. It's going to go out and fill in our information. Same thing that we did last time. Grab our product image. Color families, since this one's color shifting, it kind of does everything. This one I'm not going to add any stock to because I don't have any on hand. I'm going to grab our price. We can set our accounts on this one again. And we're going to go ahead and click create. Now, I'm not going to check off the sample panel once this creates. So I'm not going to click this at all. We're going to go back to our list. Click on Manage Sample Panels. Now Joker Jewel shows up in this list. If I order it, I can click the Got It button. It'll check that off for you, move it to the on wall. If I have a big list and I need to print off, hey, which ones do I need to order? Instead of scrolling on this page, you can click on Print Need to Order. It will pop up this page for you and give you a list sorted by manufacturer. So just an easier way to manage your swatch panels if you choose to do that. I know not everybody's going to care about this, but I like the feature. I use it pretty often in the shop because I always wonder, do I have that on my wall? And since there's so many up there, I can't keep track of them all. And new colors get released all the time. Just very, very difficult to track. I think that's going to sum up our tutorial for the day. The next one, I think we're going to go through company settings. There's a lot of settings in there. Feel free to poke around on your own. You're not really going to destroy anything. Just be careful, read the instructions on each page, and the system should walk you through most of them. But our next tutorial is going to be on company settings, and we're going to go through that. Since if we click on this, there's a lot of information in here that needs to be explained a little bit better. So we're going to go through that next time. Hopefully you'll stick around.